Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Trip Forman. Today we have Jeff Carver with us. Jeff, welcome.
Hello. Hello, Trip. How are you?
Jeff also heads up our surf school. So if you're thinking about coming to Cape Hatteras, the Outer Banks of North Carolina, to come get your surf on at any ability level, Jeff is going to be taking you around the island for a good time, and mostly a private time.
Very private. We
Very few crowds.
excel in private sessions.
Premium. Only premium. Only the best. So that's why we're actually here talking about the Hinds Dream Fish. So I brought my original Dreamfish with me. This is a Dreamfish hand shape from Hinds. This one's a 6'8", and this was one of those boards, and I think all of you have had a board like this where you go to the beach and you're like, I'm gonna go surf this thing for an hour, hour and a half, and like get a feel for it, and then all of a sudden, like 4 hours later, you're still there, and then you're like kind of rooting into your car and like looking for any source of food or hydration that you can, and then you're putting the sun down. And like you showed up at like 10 in the morning and sunset was at like 7 o'clock. Had a absolutely insane time on this thing that session at the lighthouse and all the sessions after it, and that's kind of like where the Dreamfish volcano began, was with this one, with this PU poly hand shape. Surftech has released the Dreamfish in their Fusion HD, which is an EPS epoxy fiberglass layout. What that allows Roger to do is put out a production run of the Dreamfish, same shape, same super foiled out rails that he's really famous for, but at a more affordable price, and good durability and longevity of the board, and then the flex, like maintaining the flex over time. So Jeff, you were one of the first people beyond myself to ride this board, and I loaned you one of my Surftech HD Fusion boards. Talk about the performance of this thing and kind of like what you liked about it.
The first couple sessions that I got to ride this board in was with some typical summertime stuff, you know, thigh, waist time, give or take a little bit bigger. Super fun, responsive, performed really, really well in some gravelly waves. Mm-hmm. And then I had one of my little groms coming to town. He was like, hey, let's go surfing. And I was like, all right. Slow moving morning. Wish we were a little bit faster, but it was some pretty good, decent, you know, inside punchy surf. And man, this board really, that was when it started to excel. Once there was a little bit of punch under it, mm-hmm. Very fluid, very flowy. This board rides great.
Yeah, the thing that I like about it is, you know, we talked a little bit about the rail, so I'll bring that up first. But in the production run through Surftech, Roger's making these things like 5'8", I think is the smallest one, up to a 6'9". And even on the 6'9", the rails are like super foiled out. Like the middle of the board's like 3 inches thick. And normally, like when you think 3 inches thick, you're like, whoa, 3 inches thick, you know? It's almost like saying like 1 something for a grom board, like it like kind of takes you back, and you're expecting the rail to be like super chunked out. But Roger really foils the rails down on these things, which makes any center thickness is only on the stringer, and on the rails they're like way thinner, which makes the board a lot more maneuverable and reactive, like easier to get the rail engaged into the wave, and then also and higher up on the wave, so you can get more speed. Having like a shortboard-esque outline, but with that wider tail, the flatter rocker and that thinner rail, it's like a really good combination, like where the thing is just a rocket ship. Like you can make insane speed on this.
Very fast. Very fast.
What about fin setup, Jeff? I see you have yours set up Futures T1, like twin plus trailer.
Yep, twin plus trailer. I did mess around with a couple thruster setups and just true twin fin setups, but this board shines with the twin plus trailer.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's where the most performance came out.
That might have been, I think it was the combination of the food that I found in my car with all of the different fin setups that I tried that day. But at sunset, I kind of came to the same conclusion, like it was twin plus trailer. Mm-hmm. It works as a quad, it works as a thruster, so if you're like kind of die hard down one of those alleys, like it'll work for you that way. But all three setups, like, you know, if you're like, which one felt the best, I've definitely felt like twin plus trailer was the way to go.
Yep.
I also, you know, following your travel, like you took this thing on a little exotic getaway, huh?
I did. Took this board down to Chicama, Peru, and probably one of the best testing grounds for a goofy footer that you could find. And man, let me tell you what, I got to push its limits in all aspects of, you know, if it will last for a wave that lasts for 3 minutes, if your legs will last for a wave that lasts for 3 minutes. And also we got to surf some of the outer reefs there, and it held its own in some legitimate waves. So it kind of does it all. It'll grovel if you want to, but it'll hold its own in some real waves.
So like when most people think about Chicama, they think about like kind of smaller, softer surf, but like you're telling me about like kind of further up the point, like there's more punch.
Yep.
To it.
There, you know, once it starts maxing out at the point, you can't really surf it, and you got to move to further down the point.
Yeah.
Essentially, but we got it. It was like 6 feet at 14 seconds.
Yeah.
So it had some juice out back, and you know, it was solid 6 to 8, 10 foot, and this board was doing everything that you would want it to do.
Awesome.
And that was being ridden with the Twin Plus One as well.
Yeah, Twin Plus trailer. And I mean, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, and we'll keep this part short, but just leaking a little sneaky leaky out there is that you're actually putting together some trips, right?
Yep.
With our crew to like go down with our students and our customers to like go down to Chicama.
Yep, that's looking into 2025. Be heading down there, doing some foiling and doing some surfing.
Awesome, cool. Well, Jeff, what about like accessibility of this board, right? We talked about like, you know, what it surfs like at, you know, our level, which is like, I would say a medium, medium level, kind of medium plus.
Medium plus,
but premium.
Premium, medium plus.
It's level.
It's like a Big Mac meal, extra large size.
Okay. What about like accessibility, like coming up underneath us as far as, like, could this be somebody's first shortboard, like coming off of like a mid-length?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it would fit in there. It would fit very well. Just the wide variety of conditions that this board will cover.
Okay.
I think it would be a great board to, you know, as a matter of fact, we've got a couple of students that this was their first board, and they're like, I absolutely love it. So it really does well in that.
Yeah, like when I think about it, like somebody's first short board, like kind of going shorter than a mid-length or a long board, like I think about like the range of use that it works in, but also like that ability to make speed. Like like a fast board, like you can always like turn and slow it down, but a board that doesn't have speed, like you're going to be missing a lot of waves or a lot of sections, you know. You
don't miss many waves with this one.
Awesome.
You're in it.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for your feedback on the Roger Hinds Dreamfish. If any of you out there have any questions on the Dreamfish or would like to place an order for one, either the Surftech EPS epoxy version or a hand-shaped Roger Hinds PU poly, you can always reach us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.